Hello everyone, and welcome to my next Blender for Beginners tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to go over inserting, deleting objects. Alright, so I just want to go ahead and have everyone change their view to top view. If you remember in the previous tutorials, you can do this by pressing the 7 button on your number pad. If you don't have a numpad, you can either watch the previous tutorials to find out how to adjust your settings so that you can use your numbers as the view changers, or you could just go down here to view and select top from your view menu. Okay, now the first thing we're gonna go over is just basically inserting the objects and moving them around and stuff like that. So if you go ahead and press the space button, right, and then you'll see this little menu pop up. If you go over to the right where it says mesh, then you'll see another menu pop up. You also have to be on add in the first menu, then to mesh, and we're gonna go ahead and insert a plane into our 3D space. So if you just select plane, right, now it's kind of hidden because it's actually under the square. So if you'll go ahead and press the G button, and then you can move it over to the left. Okay. And now we have a plane. So if you'll go ahead and rotate, orbit around if you will, then you'll see that it's pretty flat. Okay, you just go ahead back to the top view. Right, now this little 3D, this is called a 3D cursor right here, the little red, white, and black thing. Pretty much that's just going to determine where your objects are going to be placed. So wherever that cursor is, when you add a new object, that's where it's going to be placed at. So you can move that cursor by left clicking anywhere in the three-dimensional space. So if you'll just go ahead off to the right and left click just anywhere, then go ahead and press space, mesh, and since we already have a cube, we're just gonna go down one more to circle. Okay, and the vertices 32, that should be fine. Okay, now we see the circle. You'll notice that it doesn't have an actual face. What a face is like the top of this square or the inside of this plane right here. It's just pretty much all blank. And that's okay, that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, so now we're going to go over here a little bit. And we're going to add mesh. And then we're going to add a UV sphere. Okay, and now all this is just a ball. A lot of times use them for like eyeballs, putting eyeballs in the head and stuff like that. Okay, move our cursor again. Okay, and now we're going to add a icosphere. Okay, and you'll notice that looks a lot like the UV sphere, but it's real, edgy. We're going to move our cursor one more time, and we're going to add a cylinder. Alright, now that move that cursor one last time, and we're going to go ahead and add a cone. Alright, now that we have all of our objects on the screen, it's going to go ahead to front view. Actually, let's just go back to top view. Okay, now with that cursor, let's say we have our cursor over here and we want to center our screen to our cursor. That's very possible. If you'll go ahead and press the C button on your keyboard, it will take you directly to the center of that cursor. So go ahead and move your cursor one more time, then press C. You can move it around and press C. Also, if you want to move your cursor back to the original point where it started, all you would need to do is press Shift, then C, then as you see, it jumped right back to our cube right there. Okay, so see, center it up. Now what we're gonna do is erase all of the objects, and you can erase them one by one. If you select an object with your right button, your right mouse button, and then you can press X, and then you'll see it'll say OK, erase selected objects. Just want to go ahead and confirm that. Okay, we're just going to erase 2 of them manually. And let's say we want to erase all of our objects. We need to make sure we don't have anything selected. Then you can just press A, and then it'll highlight everything. Okay, and then you could press X and it'll say erase selected objects, but we don't want to erase them all. So what we're gonna do, we want to keep our camera and we want to keep our light right here, and also our cube. So we're gonna hold down Shift. You're gonna right click on the cube. You may need to right click it twice until it stops, until it's no longer highlighted. Also, you're gonna come up here to our little light, and you're going to right click on it twice, and then to the camera, and you're going to right click on it twice. Okay, and now these 4 objects right here are selected, and those are what we want to delete. So we're just going to go ahead and press X, and we're going to erase selected objects. Alright, and now the final thing that I want to go over in this tutorial with you guys is rendering. Okay, now pretty much what rendering is it gives you the final image of your model, of your animation, and so forth. And what it does is this camera right here, it projects the view from the camera that you have selected to project the view from. So if you go into 0 camera mode, you'll see that cube just like it is on my screen. Now if you were to render this image, you would add the light right up here, and that would shine on the cube, and the render would give you the full image with the light reflected off of it and everything, like so. Now the way you render is you can go up here to the top of the screen where it says render, render current frame, or the hotkey for it is F12. And then this little window will pop up. Sometimes it could take a minute. I guess with small things like this, it would just depend on your computer. But just give it a little time. Okay, now just to show you the different effects of the light, we're going to go up here. If you go to side view, which would be 3 on your number pad, or down here to view and select side, then you can select this light right here. If you go ahead and move it over just a little bit behind the camera, and then we're going to go ahead and render again, which is, remember, F12, or up here in the top, and select render current frame. And then you'll see the light change slightly, and the shadow is no longer on this side of the square. Now you can move the camera around, pretty much the same way that you move the cube around. If you go to top mode, you can select the camera, grab it, move it around, rotate it, just to get that perfect image. Okay, well that's pretty much all we have for this tutorial. So until next time, just remember, have fun. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to go ahead and shoot me a message.